Good morning. I've been away for a few days from my reading of Hallelujah anyway, but I'm up early enough, and the work from home thing is available over here, so I can manage the. I have a. I have the coronavirus pandemic counting up and down by every nation, and we are up to 17,489 funerals all around the world for this particular virus. I sound a little like I have allergies because typically I do, but I'm not worried about any of these things. I'm just reading and Lamott. Hallelujah. Anyway, chapter 6, Plains. My 6-year-old grandson often calls to me as he drifts off to sleep down the hall. With both our doors wide open, that was the best day ever. Then he wakes in the dead of night and calls out, Nana, will you ever get sick or die? Terrorized, he cries in the dark until I go fish him out. He is like a pond, a self-contained water body with long brown legs teeming with every manner of life, rooted water plants and flowers, fish, turtles, tadpoles, ducks, but also hidden in the silt, piranhas, stingrays, great white sharks. I put him back to sleep in my bed. A few hours later, when the sun rises, he wakes and says, this could be the best day ever. He could fly again. No matter how bad or lovely one's childhood, almost everybody walking around was somehow held, fed, cared for, at least enough to still exist. The universe gave us sunlight, water, and milk, and we grew. The human condition brought with it terror, and we wept. The human family held us the best it could. Then it inadvertently destroyed us. We were taught the exact opposite of what Mark Yaconelli calls the rule of love. He wrote a letter to the teenagers in the Sunday school class I teach that said, anything that leaves you more fearful, more isolated, more disconnected from other people, more full of judgment or self-hatred is not of God, does not follow the rule of love. And you should stop doing it. But while I was growing up, most things left me fearful and isolated. Every so often, we drop down into another plane to that trusting spirit that knows that underneath all things we are held, that we are children born into this world in tender innocence. This can be experienced while doing the child's pose in yoga, snorkeling, and I would guess while hang gliding, safely suspended and held. But then we have to snap out of it, snap to it, get back up to the video game of life, get back to work or traffic, get back to everyone whose calls we missed. Underneath all things means that beneath the floorboards, in the depths, in the spaces between the pebbles or sandy floor that contain the pond, that hold our own inside person, is something that can't be destroyed. A foundation that keeps all the water from sinking back into the earth. Something is there, something we need when we come to rest, when all is lost. Years and years ago, a writer named Lynne Twist, a lifelong activist for global hunger causes, wrote of an African village in existential crisis. Its water supplies were gone. Its shallow wells were running dry. The village was several hours into the desert in Senegal, on the western tip of Africa, in the harshest imaginable environment, where almost nothing grew but baobab trees, with their leafy branches for shade. The village was not eligible for government help, being outside the census, and even thousands of gallons of donated water would not help for long. So Twist took some hunger project leaders and volunteers to the village. St. Francis said, we begin with what is necessary: water, food, shade, and a way in. Someone had somehow arranged a meeting with the tribal leaders of the community. Twist and her colleagues drove across hundreds of miles of silty orange sand that stung their eyes and throats, expecting to find hopeless, hungry, lethargic people in despair. But when the group neared the village, they heard drums. And driving toward the sound of the drums, they found themselves welcomed by ecstatic children and women in beautiful tribal dresses and men seated, drumming. Everyone was scarily thin, covered with orange dust, but joyous. And the women and children danced around a fire. The partners had arrived. We who have not yet made it to the deserts in Africa hear of hunger not far away, see it at intersections and under bridges. And good people respond. We take food to shelters, show up at soup kitchens. My church school kids pass out water and granola bars to street people and say, "How are you?" And to their children, "What grade are you in? And what's your teacher's name?" Is this the same as the Hunger Project? Of course. Suffering is suffering. As the mystics would have us believe, as above, so below, as within, so without, as the universe, so the soul. So, yes, if we slow down and stick around for the resurrection part of the story, the rising, which granted can be very inconvenient and time consuming. Village men who were Muslims sat in a circle with the Hunger Project people in the baking orange sand. The women sat in a circle behind them, close enough to hear. The men thanked the Hunger Project people for offering to help them find new water sources or to relocate somewhere less harsh. Their wells were nearly dry, as were the wells of 16 other nearby villages. How do you go on, let alone dance, when there is next to no food or water for your children? St. Francis says that after doing what is necessary, we move on to what's possible. We pay attention, listen, open our hearts. How could those be enough? Mr. Einstein said, "Everything is moving and we're all connected, and maybe never more so than when we listen. So that is one connection, one bridge. Everything slows down when we listen and stop trying to fix the unfixable. We end up looking into other people's eyes and see the desperation, or let them see ours. This connection slips past the armor like water past stones, being slow and softened even for a few minutes or seconds, gives sneaky grace the chance to enter. There won't be something waiting that you can put on a bumper sticker, and it will not just be one cute thing, although I would very much prefer this. It may be loud or silent, textures, colors, breath, salty, sweet, sour, probably a weave. The paradox is that in dropping down, letting down like nursing mothers, we rise to the higher tiers of our existence. We relax down into higher rungs of awareness, immediacy, being, just humanly being. In this village, when people sat together with gratitude, relief, flies, starvation, truth telling, hope, listening, a vision, and even the grumbling, they reached a new stratum. There is such depth to listening and an exchange like an echo from inside a canyon. When friends have listened to me at my most helpless, they heard, someone heard what was happening, what was true and painful. When the center would not hold, they sat, listened, and breathed with me like doulas. Breath is a koan, both a resting place and enlivening. To take a deep breath is a thirsty person sipping water, both ease and nourishment. The person said, "I hear you. It completely sucks. I'm here for you. and will be no matter what. You sat together breathing. Maybe the friend trotted out the excruciating absurdity of the situation, laid it on the table so we could observe it together with amazement and eventual amusement. The friend let us go again to every place we have ever wallowed and helped make it funny. We described hell, expensive custody battles, betrayal, a dying pet, and didn't have to hear about silver linings. The friend just got it. We felt like a failure, but were helped to see that we were doing everything we could as well as we could. Maybe we won't step in that same hole again now. Maybe we will. No one, not even God, has a magic wand. So what awaits is probably still going to be hard sledding. But at least we're out of the ditch and on the hill in the slush. There has been no hope of this when we were stuck in the me, hurt, hurt, hurt. Now, as Rumi said, someone opens our wings, someone fills the cup. My pastor puts it, God makes a way out of no way. We will somehow be cared for by that someone, a dear neurotic friend, minister, mullah, or something, or a shift that helped release a bit of what tortured you an hour ago, or what you tortured yourself with, a space you've populated with demons, now opening from that trance out to what is really there. A cup of tea, kind eyes, paper whites, orange sand. I'll let it I'll let it live there and I'll go put some makeup on or something. I'll try this again a little later. Oh, hallelujah. Anyway, I'm going to finish it soon, this book. I think, what do I think is next? I have so many books to read. That's the joy of this time. Are you finding some joy in this time? I really love the joy hour, the reading out loud. Makes me feel accompanied in all these ways that are so strange. Blessings on your waking up. This is for me kind of sequester day number 8. I'm trying to, no, it's number 9. I'm trying to count them down and take pictures and pay attention and notice not only the all rightness of my own situation. I'm in a beautiful place, looking at a beautiful ocean, reading beautiful words that make me feel strong and accompanied and loved, and in the mess of it, in the mess of the humanity that I'm in. But I'm also super mindful of the people who are really losing people they love. 17,494 funerals ahead. It's day 9 of the COVID chapter, 2020, the Corona chapter. I like thinking about the crown. What is it opening to? What is it receiving? Blessings on your morning. Talk to you later.